Join me in chanting the Friday morning excerpt of Spaciousness of Vajra Sattva composed by Prahe Vajra. Let's chant. All possible circumstances and all beings in them arise non-dually from the resting continuum. And if you have any questions as we chant this, don't be shy. Just type your question in the chat window on the right-hand side of the screen. Unless you're watching on your phone, then it'll be right down here. In the purity of divine presence, there are no such distinctions as male or female. In the domain of reality, there is no talk of getting somewhere by means of effort. And yet some say that by using the powers of sound, one can generate the bliss of a magical illusion. The true condition cannot be grasped conceptually, but appears in varied ways according to how one views it. To strive for bliss, desiring it to manifest, only generates obscuration and confusion. Meditating on the appearances of a deity is like meditating on the reflections of the moon in water. So although such meditators strive to be undefiled and unattached, their practices are like child's play. Excuse me. Well, I look forward to chanting and meditating with you after approximately 1 minute, where I answer the question, who's this guy? This is Lama Jigme Gyatso of the Buddha Joy Meditation School. Welcome to Meditate Like a Jedi, which is made possible due to the generosity of viewers just like you who help us out on Patreon. If you love Star Wars and wish to meditate as profoundly as young Luke Skywalker on Dagobah under the guidance of Yoda, be sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. And of course, if at any point you have a specific question about Buddhist meditation, Buddhist philosophy, or how to apply them to your life, simply type your question in great detail in the chat window. So let's exercise our neural pathways responsible for empathy and enthusiasm with this concise chant. May I liberate all beings by relying on the 3 jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the 3 jewels. May I liberate all beings by relying on the 3 jewels. Now it's time for a bit of the old meditation. Mindfulness and meditation are known by many names, such as Zen, Chan, Dhyana, Mahamudra, Mahasandhi, Ati Yoga, Dzogchen, and Treksha. Yet despite the fanciness of the names, the process is simple. How do we practice mindfulness? Simple. We begin by not confusing it with active concentration. This is the opposite. It's mere perception. That is vulnerable, passive, visceral, and random. And fortunately, it's effortless to practice this due to our sympathetic nervous system that we access during each inhalation. And as such, we can notice all manner of things: sights, sounds, sensations, flavors, scents, and the like, including emotions, intentions, thoughts, memories, and imaginings. Now, the interesting question is, what are we going to do with these things once we notice them? Simple. We meditate upon them. And how do we do that? During each exhalation, thanks to our parasympathetic nervous system, we are wired to physically relax and mentally release that which we observed during our previous inhalation can now feel as if it was as non-graspable as a vast, empty void. And so we're using an empty void as a metaphor of the non-graspability that is latent within each relaxing exhalation. Therefore, during each inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the demonstrative pronoun this, and during each exhalation, we could silently and mentally recite the metaphor void. Why do we have a picture of two copulating Buddhas in the upper right-hand corner? To remind us that during each inhalation, well, I should say the white figure reminds us that during each inhalation, it's our job to notice how mind plays, how mind perceives, emotes, intends, reasons, recalls, and imagine. And the blue figure reminds us that during each exhalation, it's our job to relax into mind's non-graspable nature. There you have it, the essence of Dzogchen. Oh, won't you please meditate with me? Our mind has evolved to wander. That is a good thing. Every time our mind wanders, it's an opportunity to process things. So if, for example, our mind wanders to rehearsing a future conversation with somebody, if we wanted to, during our inhalation, we could silently and mentally recite cognition, and during our exhalation, we could relax into the silent and mental recitation of the word emptiness. We could do this for 3 or 4 rounds and then return to our basic exercise. Excuse me. There are individuals in peril around the world as we speak. A monk in Washington has gone missing. There are people in peril in the Ukraine, in the West Bank, in the Gaza Strip, in the Congo, and the like. Not to mention people in peril simply because of climate change or late-stage capitalism or poor health. As these people, either individuals or abstractions, sort of cartwheel across our mind, as we breathe in, we can notice, and as we exhale, we can relax. And so doing, we can practice the effortless manifestation of the well-being of all people. We don't have to force this. We are already wired for empathy, thanks to the preponderance of mirror neurons in our brain, the hub of which, or locus of which, is found in a bit of tissue that the big kids call the anterior cingulate gyrus. Every time we relax into our exhalation, we are redirecting energy and neural activity back to our empathy center. And so as individuals or abstractions of individuals cartwheel across our mind as we inhale, and we are able to exhale and relax after that, we could find that we are manifesting the well-being of others. Now, most of us are not Gandalf the Grey or Galadriel the Golden. So if at the very least, by practicing this, we are training our own pathways of mindfulness, meditation, and love. It was explained to me that we are all beings on this earth are connected electromagnetically, if not directly, then indirectly. And the knowledge of physics teaches us that we live in an interdependent universe where things affect other things and are affected by other things. Our love heals. If you are concerned that you're not loving enough, don't worry. This is the remedy to our fearful and selfish reaction to peril. The more we practice noticing and releasing, the more we experience the highest love, which is spontaneous and uncontrived. If thoughts come to mind that stir up your emotions, perhaps anger or the like, as you breathe in, you could silently and mentally recite emotion, and as you exhale, you could relax. As you relax into your exhalation, you could silently and mentally recite emptiness. As we consider people who are cruel and exploitive, we can wish wisdom for them, and that wish can be could propitiate or fall forward effortlessly for a wish that all beings everywhere stop being cruel and start being kind. It's already wired into us. All we got to do is get out of our own way. As we sit in meditation, it is an inevitability that, given enough time, we will experience every aspect of the entire spectrum of human emotion, including momentary aversion to meditation itself. When that happens, it's simple. As you breathe in, silently and mentally recite emotion, and as you exhale, silently and mentally recite emptiness. This way, not only do we free ourselves of the tyranny of the present moment, we free ourselves from the duality of putting an ever finer tip on our experience. Is it pleasurable? Is it painful? Is it subtle? Is it coarse? Is it external? Is it internal? We're just going to keep it simple. If you find yourself making plans in the future, you could, as you breathe in, you could silently and mentally recite imagine, and as you relax into your exhalation, you could silently and mentally recite emptiness. If you find yourself reliving snippets of a television show, as you perceptively breathe in, you could silently and mentally recite remember. And as you relaxingly exhale, you could silently and mentally recite emptiness. How can our empathy influence others? With each cycle of observation and release, we increase and strengthen our centered spontaneity. The stronger it gets, the easier it is for our choices and utterances and deeds to flow upon the stream of our centered spontaneity, setting in motion a visible or invisible chain of events, better meeting others' needs, locally and around the world. If you feel drowsy, open your eyes. If you feel agitated, close your eyes. If you feel drowsy, you could silently and mentally recite the verb feel as you breathe out, followed by the metaphor void as you exhale. Let us seal our practice. Oopsie. Let us seal our... What's going on here? Let us seal our practice with 2 chants. May all beings practice of kind communication, conduct, and calmness, flow spontaneous and uncontrived. May everyone be free from misery, may everyone be happy. May no one be separated from the happiness. May everyone have balance from the tyranny of hating, craving, and clinging freed. If you feel that I have earned it, you could type something in the chat window. You could give this live stream a thumbs up. You could share it with a friend. You could even help support this channel on Patreon. In approximately 3 1/3 hours, I would very much like to return to lead today's afternoon lesson and meditation. Until then, may you and yours be happy and healthy. And if you are as geeky as me, this is the way.